Hello and welcome to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer. So yesterday I made another quick recap of the course. Okay, so the section 1 I learned about how to getting started building a consulting career, and then how to get started as a freelance consulting career. So the section 3 is where to find and land high-paying consulting clients, and that include is certain things that you should know first before diving into that, as well as different places where you can find clients, like the online platforms like Upworks, your existing network, or employment sites. Understanding is the trade-off of each one of them, as well as some consultation tips to land more clients, like show your face, as well as don't forget that this is a numbers game. So ask yourself what I'm doing right now and how am I putting myself in the best possible position. So also I look at some consultation sell tips for landing more clients, like be an active listener, use speed, use solution selling process, and don't forget to add value. As well as some consultation, or in this case the solution selling process, especially to identify your potential client. Okay, so first is the journey prospect. So you find and you identify is your client or sell leads prospect. Then you start to reach to get in front, to capture their attention. You start to sending emails, and ultimately then you qualify from this huge list of potential leads. From all of them, what is most likely from you to work, and if you can provide the value that the client is looking for, and ultimately do a video call or sales call, specifically a video call, so you can do even more fact findings about, hey, are you gonna work with me, or are we going to collaborate each other, or is this gonna end right there so I can move on to the next project? And from there, so for example, if you reach to some sort of agreement, great. Now it is time to present your offer and add value. Say you send the proposal and then you add value for that. Great, because with that, then I also look at how to secure payments, and this is very, very important. So once you find a client and you apply this solution selling process, so you identify you look out for all the clients out there, and then you filter out. This is part of the sales funnels, right? That you filter out, and you do then some video presentation to do even more fact findings about this client. And if it is, then ultimately send the proposals and add free value. So with that, it is also important to tackle all objections that arise, and understand the root of those problems. Most of the times are budget or times or value. And then, well, how to secure the payments. So by first get the service agreement signed, and then secure the payment portals or the payment options. Okay, whether it's hourly or per milestone. And lastly is when you're going to provide is the your consultation or your service. So okay, because with that, uh, then I look at the following thing, which is how to invoice client, because you can use, for example, platforms, online platforms out there like our freelancer, where they automatically generate those invoices for you, or you can use some personal invoice like Soho Books or PayPal, QuickBook. So with that, in the next section, in section 4 is okay. So now that you know how to getting started building a consulting career, and then getting started as a consultant, so now doing it, and ultimately where to find and land high paying consulting clients. So from there, it's now time to know how to conduct a research and gather quality data. So I understand that data is something powerful because it can help you to inform, persuade, or reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. And it's important, especially when you're conducting a research, to identify the most valuable data from the least valuable. So you have first party data, data that comes from the company. You usually have to sign an NDA agreement for that. And then you have is from trust sources. They have a great record of research report, peer review. And lastly, the aggregate sources. So the quality of this kind of data is not that strong, meaning so you can verify is, for example, who the author really is. But it's important to mention that especially for projects or for consultation or reports, that in industry where they are new, or this nation industry, or uh, industry that are where they're for nation industry, or industries that most of the times for nascent industry, so nascent, for new industry, when still you don't have, so there is a lot of fuss and fog, so you need to cherry picking very well your sources. Okay, now with that, then I look at how to conduct a research from a broad perspective. Okay, play devil advocate with yourself, meaning see things from different perspectives, gather relevant data, and keep track and keep notes and record every source you obtained. Also qualifies the data that you're getting this data, and ultimately don't forget to circle back with the client. So this is something that I did, and Paul Mendes gave these guidelines especially to a tourist website here, specifically here, when he conducts a research for a tourist website. So the broad perspective, or the TLDR, especially here, because he conduct a marketing research, which is something helpful at the end of the day for any faculty. But he conducts a market research for a tourist website. So first, he look at the website and understand all the product and service, understanding what they offer, and then start to get into the specifics. Second, by all the prices and category, the company's review, what makes this company unique, and if you can have access to the first party data, which is the third one, that is great because now you can look what they have done in the past, see how they have been performing, and from there you can provide your suggestions. So with that, once you conduct this research for their brand, websites, products, and prices, uh, how much they charge and offer, then you're gonna look is at the competitor analysis. So you're gonna perform this research to see who the other players are in that industry. So this is step 4. And that is look at what they're doing, see what you can learn from them, and do a keyword research that will help you once you want to know more about this industry. Once you perform this keyword research with any other tools on the internet, right on there. For example, with Google keywords or any other online tool. So this keyword research will give you is a more understanding of what's going on that industry, right? And on top of this keyword research, you're gonna know and you're gonna get up-to-date data from the world's news. And this is to look and ask yourself, so everything that I have researched, what is most likely to work today? Okay? And that includes look at where this industry is going and how it's adapting to regulations. So in my particular case, I conduct a research but for the e-commerce to understand what an e-commerce is, which is after all the trade of good and service on the internet. So Amazon mentioned that, as well as the Shopify. Shopify mentioned that while e-business refers to operating all aspects of an online business, whether it's marketing, which is responsible for conducting a research, developing strategies, creating campaigns, managing social networks, sales, which are responsible for contact, sell leads, prospect journey, do a video on sales call, negotiate agreement or contract, and then close the deals. So finance, it keep track every financial transactions or and generate financial reports, keep track of your taxes among other things. So research or human research HR, we're now they're recruiting new talent, administering salaries and benefits, provide training to employees, as well as solve employees conflict, the operations which are responsible for develop and improve existing production process, set quality standards, the IT, create computer networks, developing software and implement software systems, provide technical support, ensure data security, customer service. So in addressing in customer inquiries or and complaints, handle those complaints, provide technical support, and check the customer satisfaction. So when it comes to R&D, research and development, they take care of improving existing prototypes or products or create a new one, developing patents. So this is a broadly speaking, all the operations that a company has, but e-commerce refers to specifically to the trade and good of on the internet. So then I also saw is the different actors like the government, consumers, and business and how they relate each other. The most widely common business model or aka type of e-commerce is the business to consumers, such as retailers, services, and subscription service, um, ordering and uh, ordering food and that ordering food and delivery service, and online travel and booking, as well as digital platforms like Etsy or eBay. Now, the business to business, such as digital, or in this case, online marketplace like Alibaba, Amazon Business, eBay Business, EBI, online portals, wholesale e-commerce, business to business payment solutions, from consumers to business, freelance work, user generated content, crowdfunding, online survey, reverse auctions. For the government to business, we have public procurement portals, tax filing and payment systems, business registrations, licensing and permit applications, international trade and custom clearance. For governments to consumers, uh, online tax payment portals, or utility bills, driving and vehicle registration, or driving license and vehicle registrations, passport applications, ordering birth and death certificates. And for consumers to business, you have online petitions, online donations, payment of fines and fees, and that kind of thing. So once I understand at least how these most common examples of this business model, or aka e-commerce, okay, then I look at the competitors, uh, as well as I perform the keyword research to understand what's going on in that industry. So I'm not going to dive deep too much into that, but the whole point of this is that I did, and now this gives me much more insight on what's going on, and then look at how you can create a report with visual engaging presentation, because at the end of the day, the client wants to know, hey, everything that you have researched, how you came with that conclusion. And that is, well, by showing them with statistics and charts with different aesthetics, you show them the meaningful patterns, and from there is what you're going to provide is your solutions. So it's based on an agreement, based on a mutual agreement, is that, hey, yes, I would like you to implement that, so tell me more about this, the client might say. And to do this, okay, it's important to, when you create a report, show the first, first, before creating the report, you must know exactly what you're going to put in there first. Second, show the most impactful data first, because you don't want the client start to forget what the important thing was. So by doing that, and then expand that with different aesthetics and with different aesthetics and charts, and also using different charts and graph to illustrate that. And if you want for example, recurring client, it's important to have a template. So keep looking at the different charts and graphs that you can use for a particular use case. So you have is the bar graph. You want to show change over time or compare different categories. Pie chart, when you want to make a part to a whole comparison with discrete or continuous data. So this is more impactful for small data sets. Line graph, when you want to show a time series relationship like trending, acceleration, deceleration, volatility, as well as area chart, which is a combination, is a line graph with volume, right? Again, it's allows you to show time series relationship with now 3 variables that can be represented. Scatter plot, when you want to see correlations of data. Again, correlation doesn't mean causality, but that's a whole new video. But the point here is, with scatter plot, you can, for example, right, know in the x-axis the time to response and the g-axis the customer satisfaction. So you can, for example, see the correlation of the data. And most of the time, so when the customer service respond fast and solves the customer inquiries and complaints faster, well, the more customer satisfaction you will get from that service. And also I look at the bubble chart, which is a combo mix between the scatter plot and the area chart that allow you to show, or this is great for ranking data or nominal data that doesn't have an inherited order. Okay, so for example, you want to show is in the x-axis by age, and the g-axis time spent on the internet, and the bubbles as genders. Okay, heat map, when you want to show categorical data that can be grouped in different categories, whether it's nominal, something that I mentioned, and ordinal, where it has an inherited order, such as job seniority, entry level, junior, mid, senior, C executive, health status, poor, fair, good, very good, excellent, or products rating from 1 star to 5, that kind of thing. So heat maps are great for showing this categorical data using intensity of colors that can be represented on a geomap or in a table. So, for example, you want to know is what are the industry per states that export the most apple. You want to see the apple production, the apple output, the apple production in a country, for example. Okay, that kind of thing. Geomaps, which is when you're going to show distribution on a map. Okay, for example, retails on a particular brand. Tables, I'm going to show is to show a comparison between, for example, sales representative or where blog views are coming from. Waterfall, when you want to show performance over time, as well as pictograph, so show statistic with icons. So with that, then I look at the do's and don'ts. Okay, meaning is when you're creating your report, or when you're doing this data visualization, which is very, very important for both for your client and yourself, because it can help you to make more well-informed decisions. So present that in a structured way, compare that with benchmark, as well as make it easy to read. So don't lose your data after you present it. Don't use outdated data, and don't use non-precise numbers or unprecise numbers. And then some consultation or some communication tips to help you as a consultant, especially when you're going to explain complex topics or that kind of thing. For example, in your report. So break down complex topics, especially if your audience doesn't have a background on that, and if you are using a lot of the industry jargon. So break it down, make it easy to digest. One second, show that you understand the goal and avoid miscommunication, as well as understand what are the client's communication habits and work habits. Okay, so the client prefers to do some video calls or only contact you through email, right? Perhaps, and also or another point is, don't forget to be a team player. Keep track of every communication that you have with the client, as well as send brief updates. So once you know that, then you apply that, then using A/B testing will help you to build more recurring clients. And this A/B testing is a test between the A, which is the original version or the unauthorized version, and B, which is the treatment, which is the expected optimized version. Okay, so you can do as many tests as you want, but some best practice is to do one test at a time, test one variable, meaning, so if you want to see the performance of a particular element, let's say a typography, a call, or in a landing page, or a paragraph, or the way how it was written, you can measure that, which help you to drive what is the most conversion rate or retention. So retention and conversion rates. So you can point back to that metric, as well as make minor change. Okay, make minor change. So for that, then it's important to split your test randomly, 50-50, to get more conclusive results. Do the test simultaneously and decide on significance before testing. I think this is very important. The first things that we should do before anything. Okay. So remember that it is important to measure this kind of testings over time, and it is a cycle that will get you more recurring clients. So once I look at this section 4, okay, and I understand the section 4, and also I apply my all this knowledge to a particular area of interest, which is the e-commerce. Okay, that's great, because the next is how to build or the importance of building a personal brand as a freelance consultant. And the benefit is that it allows you to build a trust and authority in your field. Okay. Okay, so it allows you to build trust and authority in your fields, which allow you to open up to more opportunities, meaning growth your network, and allow you to attract clients where you can charge them more. And the way how you can develop your personal brand is to first embrace what sets you apart. That's the first thing to do. So embrace what sets you apart. So protect your brand at all costs. So be authentic, where in over time you're going to become a thought leader in your industry. So this is a particular process of how they do that thing, okay, which is building an online presence and producing content. So choose 1 to 2 platforms. In my case, I choose several platforms where now I keep tracking is my audience. So I choose is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and TikToks. Okay, so what I'm doing is just one content is spread that across all of those links. And don't forget to focus, because consistency is the queen. So even though that content is king, consistency is the queen, right? Which is something that they mention here. So you can follow is this month of tweets, but instead of doing this, I would rather prefer is to document your learning process or your way of building things. Okay, so utilize social media management tools to make that happen. Okay, especially if you want to create. This is more for a corporate or not necessarily corporate, but this is when you have already an audience to that. So when you're building your audience, it might help you to do that as well. So the other is how to embrace collaboration. So that'll be all for this video. Okay, so take care. Bye bye.